this conversation right here is proof of how good this book was. We've totally deviated away
I
to a
know,
different
right?
subject.
Right? Right? Oh my gosh.
You cook it
Okay.
and then take it in put it hot pan, real hot pan. Make sure the surface is completely
Yeah.
dry. Cook it
Sear
on
it.
one side. Yes, do a reverse sear basically, and then like once you take it off, like don't let the temperature get above about 100 degrees or so on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Take it off, let the temperature come down. You can put it in the fridge if you feel like it, and then cook it. And what'll happen is it'll get that nice crust on the outside, and then you can cook it to like a medium on the inside.
Okay.
And the internal temp, like when you're doing medium for a tri-tip, usually you want to pull it about 130, 135.
Okay. Okay.
I cook a lot of meat, so
I I I know I've seen the pictures.
I know I'm a good friend. I send pictures of my meat to all my friends.
And that's one way to open this show. Oh my gosh. Everybody, welcome to The Pretty Little Death. We are starting the new year with a second book in a series that we started for your very first book. We read Honeycutt by Sierra Simone.
Simone.
Um, okay.
Uh-huh.
I feel like this should be on a t-shirt as well. Okay. I have thoughts.
I I also have thoughts.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
First and foremost, still it's not the worst book that I've read, and it's not the best book that I've read for sure. I think Salt Kiss
Honey.
still. I think so.
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Sorry.
I think Salt Kiss as a standalone on its own is a much better story than if you include Honeycutt into the
Good.
two stories. They kind of reverse Salt Kissed this time instead of like building all this backstory and all this amazingness and things like that, and then like really keeping you on the edge of your seat, and then finally introducing like the sexy, spicy side of things. Instead, they were just like, let's make this spicy and throw in about 8 pages of real stuff.
I was so bored. So I have the book. I purchased all of the remaining when we decided that we liked Salt Kiss and could not get over how good it was. Um,
Uh, I got the coworker to start reading it too.
oh yeah. I
Yeah,
can't wait to talk about it with her. Um, okay. Two if let's Honeycutt, Sierra Simone. Page count for the physical is 423 pages, where it
okay.
literally ends with to be concluded in Bitter Burn coming early 2025. Um,
Did you read the special add-on story to it?
no, because I didn't read it. I listened
Oh
to
yeah. That's
it.
right. That's right. So there's a QR code at the end for a snippet called the Grotto, because at one point they talk about going to the Grotto.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an extra spicy scene that they didn't include in
Yeah,
the
see,
book.
okay, the digital books usually have that. This one does not. And
Oh,
the audiobook, which I borrowed from Libby because it was available there, shout out
nice.
to Libby, uh, also said nothing about it. Um,
I think the third one is on uh, KU.
yes, it is out. I have it here somewhere in the bookshelf. Salt Kiss is actually sitting with the bestie right now because after we read it, I think this is it right here. Yep, here's Bitter Burn. Bitter Burn, which we will read in June for our not just the season the series ender, but also the season finale for this season. This season's finale will be Bitter Burn, so tune in for that. Um
Evidently,
go ahead, go ahead.
evidently she has built like quite the universe. around some of these
Yeah.
characters because she has a whole 3-book series about the president and that weird love
Yeah.
triangle thing.
I think it's
Also,
supposed to be reminiscent of Arthur, Lancelot, and
yeah,
Guinevere.
yeah,
Um,
just like this is the Tristan and Isolde
Tristan
and
and
King Mark story.
Isolde, yeah. Um,
And yeah, actually, the coworker was totally info dumping on like the similarities between with me last night when we
mhm,
were driving around at work between the original like Tristan and Isolde and King Mark versus like this one. And I was like,
mhm.
and she was like, "Oh, have you read it?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "But I sent it to you." And I was like, I'm already reading one book. I have to slow down." Like, oh, that's my alarm that says I should be waking up right now.
That's okay.
Sorry.
My cat's automatic feeders are yelling at them that it is lunchtime. Um, so everything is happening at 2:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, Tristan.
Ugh.
So I was telling Smash about it because she's my boss, and
Mhm.
she was like, "Hey, what's this?" It's so weird because she was like, "So it's nearing that time of the month. What book are you reading?" And I was telling her about it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's Tristan and Isolde." And she kind of looked at me, and I was like, "Yeah, but not." And then uh I was like, "I haven't read it yet." And she was like, "Girl, it's like the week before release. What are you doing?" And I said, I'm gonna power through it." So I borrowed it from Libby on audiobook, listened to it at 2.5 speed, went from 13 and a half hours down to about 6.5 ish.
Yeah.
Um, I was bored out of my mind.
I
I don't
I
know
I
about
could
you. I
I think I'm kind of in the same page because like I went through Salt Kiss pretty fast.
That was
Um,
hard to put down.
Whereas this one, like I would be like, all right, I guess like this is a good stopping point. And I'd set it down and I'd go and I'd take care of other things. I'd be like, I really should read more of that. And then I'd go and I'd do other things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I took it outside with me, the intent of like when I was like kind of sitting out there futzing with the barbecue to like do a little bit of reading in it. And I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's so I've realized that the way to get me through a book that I have to read and I cannot get into is to find an audio version of it. Because
there
I
you go.
did have Honeycutt, and I took it with me to jury duty, and I opened
Oh,
up the first page and I was like,
yeah.
my husband even texted me. He's like, "Getting any reading done?" And I was like, "No. I can't get into it. I wasted half of my battery power in 2 hours playing games on my phone because I could not get into Honeycutt."
Look at you at 15 books already.
Oh, yeah, I don't have a goal. I took the goal down, but that's where I'm at right now.
Still, I'm on two. I started number two.
I'm not even counting the audiobook. That's not the counting the audiobook. That's
Oh,
just
if I counted the audiobook, I'm at 7.
you see, you need to get
8.
yourself a scoreboard too, which I did
I
post one that I found on the Zons in the Discord.
there there's a book that I want to recommend, but it's not for this podcast. But if you haven't read it, you should read it. And if you have read it, like we need to have talks.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, oh, okay. Do you have time for a post show today? Because then we can
Yeah,
talk. All right.
I could do probably like a short post show.
Okay. So why was this book so flippin' boring? Well, because nothing happens
It
for a
was
majority of it.
what the first 125 pages was them getting ready for the wedding. And it was 99% Catholic guilt.
Oh
This book
my
was
gosh.
99% Catholic
She
guilt.
is a spy of some sort, an assassin for uh
She's the Catholic Church.
yeah, but I don't even know if like it's an actual sect. I know honestly for
She's
reals it's not, but like is it
she's a
even
saint.
that's what they call themselves, but like are they
I know.
actually under the umbrella of the Catholic Church or is this just her uncle's like
Her
weird
uncle is the master of secrets for the Catholic Church.
Right, but what I'm saying is like within this universe, is this an
I,
actual thing or is this just like some madman like
it's
cuz
I think it's
I'm not
supposed.
quite sure.
I think the way that they kind of set it up, it's supposed to be like she's supposed to be the church's CIA,
Right.
um, or KGB,
But
or
why?
whatever.
But why? What is the
I don't.
point?
I She spent the entire episode, like, first of all, like, she, I mean, the finishing her relations with Tristan, and then or episode book, finishing her relations with Tristan, getting ready to be married, talking about her guilt, turning into the queen of the club, and then also in the background conducting her secret mission of trying to track down the information to find Drobny, the guy who stabbed or was involved in
Right.
stabbing Mark.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, hey, uh, why don't you do it? Like,
Right. 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 Oh, I so many times I was just like
I was waiting for a chapter where she was going to start talking to us about the bull that she was working on, because that's where it was kind of headed. Like, it was like, wow, you did 370 pages of filler. And then when the exciting part happened, you know what happened? Nothing.
nothing. Nothing. Nothing. I
At
thought
least when
like go ahead, go ahead.
I was saying, at least in Salt Kiss, when like the break in at Lyonesse happened, like that was exciting.
Yes. Yes. I was on the edge of my seat, like, what is going on here? Like, okay, just to refresh people's memory, in case they had forgotten because it's been a couple of months. No, I didn't do a recap. This is just pure recollection. Linus, the sex club, the BDSM club, runs on blackmail and secrets. That's how you pay your fee to be part of this exclusive club. It is like one of the best kept known secrets around is that there is this club that all of these high powered people, these shadow people are a part of, and the to become part of the club you have to have blackmail and secrets either on yourself or other people, and that's how you
Hmm.
pay your fee. Again, it is like the best kept well-known secret ever. Everybody knows that's
I
the price. And so when they
there was
break in for it, they're trying to get the data banks that has all these secrets.
there was a line in this book that like perfectly like embodied is
Mm-hmm.
probably the term, but there's probably a much better way of saying it. But like it demonstrated, there we go, like the power that Mark holds in this club, and the power of like
Right.
how much people love this club, because like it's so exclusive and stuff like that. And like I really, really, really liked it. I'm putting it back on my phone so that I can find it. So if you like, like, do you so the scene after uh Mark finds out about Tristan and Isolde, when they have to
Okay.
do the Samael
Yeah.
or Samael or night,
Yeah.
and they're down
Samhain.
there in the club.
It's the Samhain
Huh?
night, right?
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, See, I'm terrible at names and words and things like that.
Hey, the only reason I
Um,
know it is because it's my it's my new year.
yeah, that's why. Let's see.
Okay.
Was this
So
one?
it's while he's sitting on the throne.
Yeah, it's the like one of the last chapters.
Yes. So it's around 390
Chapter
42.
chapter 42. That's
Yeah,
what I thought.
2 hours later, and I can't say how many people Mark has spanked or that I have kissed. The first time Mark told me to kiss a guest, I felt my cheeks burn and wondered if this was a test, but he only watched me deliver the kiss with the satisfaction of a proud host and not any jealousy or cruel vindication. So I let myself relax. Okay. So that's the opening paragraph of this
Yeah.
chapter. Let's see. Is it after he throws everybody out?
It's right before he throws everybody out when that drunk guy comes in.
Okay. So, um,
So it's before they start doing the dirty in the room.
yeah. I think this year I might want some information about you instead. My fee isn't due
That
for a while yet. Are you sure about
is that
that?
is that chapter 42 still or 41?
This is 42.
Okay.
In fact, you are not so sure about when it's due that you're going to leave now and you're going to find Dinah and tell her
Yeah,
that
here.
there's been an accounting error and that your next membership fee is due tomorrow. And if you can't pay it, your membership is forfeit.
Yeah, so basically what happens is like when the drunk guy comes in and like you finally see him sort of flex his power. That's what
Yeah,
happens with Mark in this. Because like the guy comes in and so everybody in the club knows that the bodyguard and Isolde, so Tristan and Isolde have been doing the dirty behind Mark's back. And Mark finds out and Mark deals with it in a very Mark way. And then but somebody comes in to the room where he's supposed to be doing his thing and uh they they ask him trick or treat type of thing, and this guy comes in and he says, "I hear your wife gives out more than kisses. I'd like a taste if it's an offer." And
Mark shut it
basically, Mark
down.
Mark keeps it very professional. He says it's not an officer or it's not an offer as it happens. And the mobster says you might want to ask your bodyguard about that. And Mark goes from being like cool, casual, calm, not to angry or anything like that, but just to immediately like, I own you. I
Yeah.
am. There's the reason that I am the king of this club, and he just says like, or I could ask Dina if your membership fees are coming due. I believe that last year you gave me some information about your brother. I think this year I might want some information about you instead. The guy says my fee's not due for a while. He says, are you sure about that? And
And the
like it just turns
whole
it into this thing.
mood just turns.
And then the guy goes from being like so confident and cocky and just a jerk to, "Sir, I and he's like,
Yeah.
"You're not sure? In fact, you're so not sure about when it's due that you're going to leave now and you're going to find Dina." And he kicks him out of the club, but before he kicks him out of the club, he makes him apologize to his wife, and then he asks his wife if she accepts the apology, and she goes, "No." And then Tristan escorts the dude out. And like his friends that are there with him, who at first were kind of like, the bully at school, like he's got those two henchmen over his shoulders, they're kind of giggly, like hee hee hee, they've got him now. And then they're like, "Oh shit, I want nothing to do with this." And everybody
Yep.
just vacates.
Yep. Like it is the first time that we really see the kind of
You,
flex
yeah,
that Tristan can really like give.
Mark.
I'm sorry. Mark can really give
Yeah,
anywhere.
Tristan's still a whiny puppy.
Oh
Um,
my gosh. You just had to say that. Puppy. Why?
yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
anyways, so this whole book, like we get interactions between Tristan and Isolde by themselves. They're sneaking around. Tristan, just to remind everybody, at the end of or near the end of the book of book 1, he tells
Mhm,
Mark, "You should have told me you're getting married. This cannot continue."
mhm.
And he breaks it off with Mark. Mark does not want it to end, but he's like, "I understand. I did make a promise to my future wife that once we were married, it would just be us. Like we would not be cheat on each other, even though this
Yeah.
is a business arrangement." And then Tristan gets on the boat, finds this girl who, has a way with knives, can't stay
This
away from her, doesn't realize the boat is just loaded with cameras. Like, there are so many points in both books that I was just like, how did you not realize that? Like, at the very end of Honeycutt, she's like absolutely blown away that Mark has known the entire time who and what she is. Like, bitch, he gave you a knife your first date.
yeah.
He built you a dojo on the boat and in
Yeah.
and in the club. Like, he knows who your uncle is. He knows who your father is. Like, how would he not know? Like, there's just so many points where I'm like, I really wish I had Mark's point of view because a couple I cannot stand Isolde.
No, she's definitely the worst character.
Insufferable.
like
And not
Tristan has his
even
moments, but at least Tristan's heart is in the right place. And like I don't know,
she's
there's something
so
endearing about Tristan, but like
bad.
Isolde is written as exactly what she is, which is like she's written, and I think what they're trying to go for is like this like woman with these conflicts because like she has this inner turmoil, but she has this Catholic guilt, and she has this, and they're trying to like make this layered character, but all she comes across as is like whiny spoiled rich girl.
Yes. Yes. Like I have okay, so the original story of Tristan and Isolde is so good. And if you haven't read it, you should definitely read it. It pr-
I'm gonna download it.
it's a story of antiquity. Okay. It's right there with King Arthur. It was well before Romeo and Juliet. In fact, we think that Romeo and Juliet does take some from the Arthurian legends, which is Tristan and Isolde does fall under. Don't watch the James Franco movie. It's not great.
No,
Um
I wouldn't have. That is the exact same phrase that the coworker used. Was that it is a story of antiquity, and I was
Yes.
like, oh,
Yeah. Um
um,
it's a very good story. It this so far has hit points that you will find in the original. Mark is a king. I don't remember if Mark is the king's name, but
yes,
okay. So makes sense. Mark is a biblical name. Um uh Mark is a king that does take a young boy Tristan in as like an orphan and raises him as his squire and or page and then
and
squire and becomes a
he was
knight of his
his
court, best friend kind of thing.
yeah, he
And
was his sister's child or his sister-in-law's child or something of that nature.
yeah,
It's the same exact setup as this.
and then he does send him to get the king of Ireland's daughter, marries her by proxy, brings her over, and during the time that they spent together, there is some other stuff that happens, of course, but they do fall in love, and they do kind of, um,
Because of a love potion.
I don't remember if it was a love potion. Um, uh, yeah, there is a version where Tristan was actually in a boat as a squire before he's knighted,
Hmm.
um, and washes up on the shore, and and Isolde and her handmaid rescue him, unbeknownst of all of them who they are to each other, sends
That's
him
when he dies.
back.
That's when he almost dies because he gets poisoned.
I don't remember. I read it when I was like
Yeah,
13.
yeah. So coworker explained it a little bit to me, but basically, like the first time that they meet is because of a the him getting poisoned. Basically, he gets pushed out to sea to die out there rather than watching his lord watch him suffer.
Mm,
And when he washes up on the shore, they take care of him. He makes his way back, and Mark finds a golden hair on him, and is basically like, "This is who I want to find and make my wife," and essentially goes to collect her and sends Tristan, and then they wind up being together. Her mom and like her are kind of like more on the like witchy pagan side,
yeah,
and mom brews like a love potion that is supposed to be used between her and Mark when they get together, and one of the servants messes up on the boat and gives it to those two, and then they wind up doing the deed. Um, but they do it in like classical style, which is like
of
they say
course.
like, and they fell into each other's embrace.
Right,
Um, and then it turns into a whole thing where like the handmaid stands in her place on the wedding night so that like to protect her like purity and her honor.
right,
Um, but like Mark doesn't know because it's like dark and he can't tell.
right.
Um, So, but yeah, I got a rundown of it, but I'm gonna read through it now, and I'll report back for the third story. Hopefully, from what I've heard, the third story is good. The coworker is already halfway through the third story and was like, "Wait, you haven't
Okay.
read the third one yet?" And I was like, "That's not till June."
Okay. Okay. So at least we have somebody looking out for us ahead of all of it. But this one, like, there is no way that I have any sympathy for anything Isolde is going through in this version of this story. I don't have any sympathy for her. I absolutely loathe her. I am finding the female characters in a lot of, and I know we talked about doing like a mega episode for the 300, but I'm going to just
Mhm.
do a year wrap up, I think. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about, I've already made notes on it, about it is the current state of our literary world and the offerings that have been given to us recently in the contemporary romance genres. And the female characters are insipid, milksop, insufferable cunts. Okay. That is
Yeah,
my official opinion, and Isolde is as well.
yeah. I mean, that's so I started reading another book. We'll talk about that in the after show.
Yeah.
Um, one of the ones you recommended me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I from what I've seen in most of the things that I've read, I 100% concur with that statement.
Like the women just have absolutely no nuance. There are a couple of exceptions. I do have a list of my top like 5, I think, um books of 2025, and there are some very good characters in that, and they grow and they change. But Isolde,
Nope,
mm-mm. She knew she
nope.
loved Mark before she even got on the boat with Tristan.
Mhm.
She had, for some reason, no idea that to go from you're going to marry him so we have someone inside Lyonesse to get secrets could turn to you're going to kill him so you own the club. We need him
Yeah,
out
this
of
man
the
that has
way.
the secret. This man
Yeah.
has secrets on everyone, including people that are in our church. What
Yep.
were you thinking you were there for?
Right. Like they were it's plain as day. As soon as I realized she was part of this organization, I knew like that's the whole reason she's here. It wasn't for no business opportunity. I am
And
curious as to why Mark has had a file on her since she was like 12. That is kind of
so
weird.
I think that the reason for that is because, and they briefly sort of touched on it, and it's because of how pathetic her family is. He kind of mentions he talks about how like he knows that like her uncle is the master of secrets. And so, of course, he is going to try and groom somebody that is close to him to bring into the fold, that is somebody that he trusts, that's going to be somebody probably from his family. And most likely it's going to be his weak willed brother who has the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Because his weak willed brother is like willing to do anything to try and become somebody. So, in order to, so basically it's a very early prearranged marriage.
But that doesn't make sense either because their family isn't like the bottom of the fucking dirt. They have a history
Yeah.
longer than, they are. She makes it a point to say like my family is old. Ireland is in our blood. My family's always been a part of Irish history. What do you mean you're trying to bring your family up and make something better? Like, my
Yeah.
dude,
And
pardon my language.
a lot of it,
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
it doesn't
just,
make sense.
I
But like
think
the
this
big,
one needed more polish. I think he was really
yeah,
trying to force conflict where there wasn't any conflict.
I
And it,
feel like they focused too much on the thruple and didn't
mhm.
work on the story
I agree. They focused way too much on the throuple. They didn't work on her.
at all. No,
Nothing. They're like, we're gonna make her this thing. She should have become a fucking nun.
absolutely. Just a murder nun would have been super cool.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. And I was also very upset about how Mark did everything. It didn't make sense to me at the very end. He
The big
never,
reveal.
He never brought up the boat.
Mm-mm.
Never brought up the boat. He never had that talk with Tristan that ends the
Mm-mm.
first book. Um,
Nope.
he knows all of the stuff that's going on, but did not know about Tristan and Isolde. Makes
Yeah, it's
absolutely no sense.
also you're, this is your moment that I'm going to give you. You're going to have to remember that you're going to need to censor this. But can we both just agree and say fuck Andrea?
Oh my gosh, fuck Andrea. There was no point, first of all, for two reasons, okay? Two reasons. Starting shit for just to start shit. I
I
she's a
I
plant. She is most definitely a plant.
I think the better way to have done that big reveal where Andrea snitches
Mm-hmm.
would have been if when she snitched the way that she did,
Yeah.
if he would have been like, "Oh, so are you trying to create conflict within my organization or something along those lines?"
Mm-hmm.
And then when she was just kind of like, "Oh no, like I felt that you this need to be brought to your attention," he says, and then he would have said something about like, "But what about you?"
Yeah.
And then they would have revealed what's going on with her because there's very like it's not subtle. Like we when I started reading it, probably while you were listening to it, in probably the first, actually probably by the end of the first book, I was like, oh yeah, like something's going down here. Like Mark is playing this game way ahead of where these guys are
Yeah.
at. Like when he did the big reveal, when she got a hold of the watch, I was like, really? He was just so careless that he happened to like turn over his most prized possession, really, and he just happened to get a little bit too drunk and like open the freaking safe.
Yeah.
And then she didn't realize when she was like, "Oh, this is weird. This is like gin flavored water." She didn't like put two and two together at that
Like,
point.
oh, this whole thing was staged for my benefit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I My second part of fuck Andrea was that
Okay.
there not only was there no reason to be creating this conflict, okay, but there's no reason for her fucking character to do this. Like, there's absolutely no. She's not really all that interested in Mark. She's not really all that interested in Tristan. She has absolutely no financial stake in the club. She just is like I don't even know why she's there because she takes on the role of his assistant, but that's Sage or
Sedge.
Sedge. That's Sedge, who we only see like 3 times in either book.
And it's
I
also Sedge is the one who reveals that there were cameras on the boat
exactly.
and like is keeping the secret? Question mark.
I guess. But Tristan found the security console in Mark's apartment.
Yeah.
So like it there are so many things that just don't make sense. That even like I was at work typing estimates, listening to this thing, like Smash was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Hold on, I gotta pause this, otherwise I will miss like 3 paragraphs." She's like, "No, what's going on in your book?" And I was like, "I don't know
Yeah.
because none of
Like
it makes sense."
this book could be summed up like by saying like you and I are both old enough to remember on back in ye olden times on the television. You
Yeah,
would run home from school to watch the cartoons.
yeah,
Um,
and half of
and
the
and
allotted time is the previous episode
yeah, yeah, and
recap.
so but there was a show. It was called Pokemon, and when it would go to commercial, it'd be like, "Who's that Pokemon?" This could be called "Who's That Plot Hole," because that is the
Yeah,
entire book.
yeah. Tristan is the only one that doesn't make me shake my head this time.
Mark Mark was they did a great job in this story of continuing because like Mark was very mysterious in the first book,
Very.
and then in this book they made him they showed more of him, but they kept him mysterious. But then they also showed just the slightest glimpse of humanity, and like it the way that they have developed Mark's character feels very much the same way that Mark would develop his character in a book.
Yeah.
Where he would tease out bits of his character as he feels that the reader needs to know it.
Yeah.
And like I like that. I like what they did. But everything else, it's like the entire, and Isolde is 2/3 of the book,
Like
maybe more.
this starts with Isolde as our primary main character, but it does switch between her and Tristan. And in the audiobook they did add a female voice actor with our
That's nice.
male voice actor who was from the first one, so that when it's a uh Tristan chapter, it's him doing all the voices. When it's her chapter, she's doing all the voices. I really wish they would do more of like the dramatized type thing,
Hmm.
where like the voice actor for the other one would come in and actually do it. Because like there are times when I think when he's doing the voice that she's actually got an Irish accent. And there are, when she's doing Isolde, there is no Irish accent.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, when I hear her voice in the book, I don't hear an Irish accent.
I would think
I
that
hear
she was raised in Ireland, but like
I no 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 I she should, but like I don't hear an Irish accent in my head because what I hear when I hear her voice is just like some posh, uptight, like socialite. So sort of that like weird, like it might have an accent, but like you can't quite place it. But like mostly
yeah,
it's just it's a lot of highfalutincy, shoulders back, head up, like that kind of thing. And
okay.
she feels very like New York money to me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I will go with that. That's, and I mean the prologue, she has an American accent. So I guess that makes sense. Um but that's not what I would expect in a
No, neither.
female.
Like I keep like. There's times where I forget that she's from Ireland. I thought like there's parts of my brain where like I'm just like, oh, she lived in Ireland for a little bit. Like, good for her.
Yeah.
Um,
But
but it's
it doesn't even come up though. Like
no,
she's
none of it.
none of it. It doesn't. So many things just don't make sense and it's irritating. I do want to read the third book. I'm holding off until June because I think it's going to be a good way to wrap up the season and we'll finally be able to like ruminate on things. Because I've noticed when I was going through all of my top reads and stuff like that, I noticed that I read the book fairly quickly and then I wait and I ruminate and I think back about things. But it's not until a couple of months have passed and I've really gotten to sit with the story that I like pick up on other things and then things start becoming more clear to me. For instance, like I was thinking about the Brutes of Bristolbrook, like, and I was listening to the episode not too long ago and I was thinking like the bestie and I both said like we liked it, but it was a disappointing book. And then
Okay.
after our discussion in the post show, I started crying because I actually hated it. Once I sat and thought about everything we had talked about and we'd gone over it, I
Yeah.
realized I hated it. I hated the last book. And I
I
feel like usually what happens is like when we have a series like this, the first book grabs us and it grips us and we continued on to the second one. And because the first one was so good, there's only two ways that the second book goes. It either is
yeah,
fantastic or it's absolute shit.
and it's almost never fantastic.
And it's almost never fantastic. Brutes of Bristolbrook, the first and second books were they were
Oh,
Cass's and my favorite books of the year. They scored
nice.
so high. And for me, it's hard to get a 5 star. Book 3, mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
If you're
I
listening to this and you didn't listen to that episode, I encourage everybody to go back and listen to it. It was June's episode of 2025. It was a very good episode. Don't read the book. It's not worth it. In fact, I've still not been able to find any other reviews but ours
if
on
you
this
want to
book.
find the book that she's talking about, you can down here in this little area, probably. I don't know if I'm on the bottom or the top when you're editing this, but like in this area, there's a like button that you should click. There's
Yep.
some comments that you can put in down here
Yep.
and a subscribe. But in the description, she'll put a link to that video.
I will. I will put a link to that video. But this Honeycutt is unfortunately, the latter. It did not come out. It's a bad sophomore book.
I left when I started that book, I had such high hope. And as it went on, I kept that high hope, but it didn't meet any of the expectations that I wanted. And then when it finally started to get towards the end and things started happening, I was like, okay, this is it. This is what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way that they ended it, like,
It was a
fuck off.
wet blanket.
And then so I finished the book a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
I think, maybe a little longer,
Yeah.
because you told me you were getting ready to start reading it, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I was done with it by then, and I just hadn't told you. I forgot to.
I mean,
Or I
that's
was at like
fine.
80 per. I think I was at 80% or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I finished the book, and so I've had a few days to sit with it, and I'm like, eh. Like I went from
Yeah.
like, okay, I see where they were going, and like trying to be, because like I'm still new to this realm of this type of book, and I was like, okay, I see what they were trying to do, and I'm like trying to be like the optimist in this, whereas like I'm not normally the optimist. I am normally the pessimist in most situations, especially when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to like anything that has to do with like literature or entertainment, because I mean, I I I'm into stand-up comedy, and if you want to talk about people that flop in stand-up comedy, like first albums usually crush, second albums are absolute hot trash. And
Mm-hmm.
then like third albums they start to make a comeback, or they get a drug addiction, or they have a big public scandal, and then they have to come back from that.
Yeah.
And then they finally find their voice by the time they get into about their fourth album, if they make it to their fourth album.
Right. I
And
don't even know, do comics make albums anymore?
yeah, they do.
They do?
They still do a lot of specials. Yeah.
Oh, specials.
But they're a lot of,
Specials are different than
that's what
albums.
well, so when we were younger, they were called albums. They would release an album,
Yeah.
but that is what that you would call a special now.
Yeah. See, because
It's
I had
um,
a Jeff Foxworthy album. Mm-hmm.
I had 3 George Carlins. I had 2 Bill Cosbys.
I
Uh,
did have a George Cos. I forgot I had it on
I
tape.
had I had Red Fox. I had Robin Williams. I had a couple of Lenny Bruce.
Oh wow.
I had so many. I'm like a comedy nerd.
My
If you
parents had a Bill Cosby. We definitely had the Bill Cosby was on tape.
Mhm.
And it was the best of Bill Cosby album. And then we had a couple of Carlins, Jeff Foxworthy, and then we we had a Raw. I think we had Eddie Murphy Raw.
Oh yeah, I had that one too.
That one was also on cassette tape. Um
Uh-huh.
but then things started showing up on HBO, and we started
Mhm.
recording things off of HBO. So then I had
Absolutely.
home VHSs of Robin Williams and oh God, there was a Whoopi Goldberg. She did like a one woman kind of play special.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so I get what you're saying. Now, yeah, there used to be albums, guys. Now they're specials on Netflix.
This conversation right here is proof of how good this book was. We've totally deviated away
I
to a
know,
different
right?
subject.
Right? Right? Oh my gosh. Well, since we are definitely over halfway through this episode, thank you guys for joining us. It is January 2026, and we read Honeycutt by Sierra Simone. If you have not joined us on Discord, please do so. We are posting stuff all the time. I did post a book reader cute little thing. I don't know if you have a friend who could 3D print you one, but this one's all wood and there's like 20 different variations of it. So I put that in the Discord chat. I thought it would be cute for somebody. But we have a Discord, we have a Instagram. We also obviously have a YouTube channel if you're listening to us through the podcast. Uh like,
You can
comment,
listen to us on
share.
other platforms as well.
Yes, yes. We are available anywhere you get your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Amazon. I'm trying to remember all of them.
Spotify.
There are like 18 of the platforms that we're
I
on.
think we're on Spotify, aren't we?
We are on Spotify. That's how I listen to us. Every once in a while, I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to go and see how it is on Spotify. That's
If
how I found out one of our podcast episodes actually had absolutely no audio for an hour and a half. Oh, it was so good.
But like, yeah, we're on all the platforms. I'm
Yep.
sure most of the link you need to do a link tree. That's what you need to do.
I think there's one
Um,
on our YouTube. YouTube has
yeah,
one built in. I
just
think
yeah, that's
there's
perfect then. So
also
that's
on
down
our
there also
Instagram.
next to that like button.
Yep.
Um, we
Okay.
and if you guys are listening to this and you like, comment, and subscribe, like, um,
Nigel will striptease for you.
critic critic is in the Discord more often than I am. But if I catch people in the Discord, I'm likely to pop in like the cryptid that I am and just make a quick appearance.
Yep.
Uh, but we're constantly going back and forth. I don't know if I throw pictures of my meetup on that one,
I
but
think you
I can start throwing
do.
pictures of my meetup there for you guys if you want.
I think it's in the off topic.
Okay,
Nope. I
but
don't
if we
know where
want,
you put it, actually. I'm looking right now.
I think normally I'm putting it in our old D&D server.
Oh,
Um,
probably. And I just totally messed up our. Oh, what did I do?
it looks fine on my end.
I
But
totally
yeah, no,
messed up our
if
broadcast.
if you pop into the Discord and
Mhm.
you join the Discord, follow the Discord, join the Discord, whatever, get in there, get active.
Mhm.
And you know what? If you tag me, if you have I don't know if they can tag each other, right? And us,
Yes, you
possibly,
can
maybe. Okay.
just not at
If
all.
you, yeah, so if you at me, you know what? I'll send you pictures of my meat. I'll put you guys on the meat list. How about that?
It sounds good. Like I just we would love to talk to people. So
Yeah,
join us. Don't join us, but really join us because we're a lot of fun, I
yeah,
think. Um,
yeah.
okay. So we've hit our halfway. I am
Question time.
so terrified to ask these questions. So, by
I
the way,
just
I am so sorry, everybody. I am dealing with a migraine. So I am not as upbeat as I normally am. And I think it's because this is like right in my face and it's kind of not helping. But that is also why I'm just like I'm done with this book. Everything happened at the end and it wasn't even a
I
good like happening.
unfortunately, like, the answer to most of these questions could just be Isolde.
Right? Oh gosh. Okay. Yes. Okay. Overall rating. What do you give a rating for this?
God, I Salt Kiss was my 5. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I came in with high hopes, so it's kind of unfair. But also, like, the same thing happened in Not Enough, even though Not Enough was just bad. We won't get into that. Um, I think I bring that up every time.
Every time. That's your
So,
bottom. That's your
oh God,
1 to
yeah,
no stars. Salt
yeah,
Kiss being your 5 stars.
yeah. And so, like, but this one, like, I came in hoping for another, like, knock my socks off, like, 5-star rock and roll. And I think that if I hold it to the standard that I hold Salt Kiss to, um, then it's an unfair comparison. But it's the comparison that has to be made because that's what I've done so far with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the 7 books that I have to compare off of. And I want to give it like a mid score, like a 2.5, but I
Okay.
think it might be more like a 2.
Okay. I agree. I think it's a 2 star. I and the only reason it's getting 2 is because there were more scenes in this one. Like I know
Hmm.
we're a smut podcast, so we should at least bring up the smut at least once. I give it a 2 because in this
The
one
scenes were well executed.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said the scenes were well executed, I think.
Yes. And because they were a depiction of the lifestyle, these are just like Salt Kiss, they were some of the better depictions of the lifestyle that I have read in a long time. I hated the scenes. I'm not even gonna bare bones about that. Like the
Like,
whole
even as he's getting
queen
ready to,
scene irritated
yeah.
me
Oh yeah, the where he introduces her to the
so
club.
badly.
The even like it's such a good depiction of the lifestyle that even like when he's mad at them and he's getting ready to like give them the punishment that they deserve for doing to him what they did,
Yep.
he like as he is rolling up his sleeves,
Yeah.
he says, what are your safe words?
He checks
And they
in a
say,
lot. A
and they say,
lot.
what? And then he says, we won't start any of this. And you can stop it when you're ready, but what are your safe words? And and
Mm-hmm.
like that's how it goes. And the instant they say his safe words, he's in his mode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really well executed. And like
Yeah.
that scene, I really liked the way that scene was written.
Yeah. That was one
Um,
of the better scenes
and like
depicting the lifestyle and such.
the little bit of character development that we got of Mark and the starting to introduce Mark a little bit more instead of
Mm-hmm.
him being like the rich guy who owns the boat where we're fucking.
Yeah.
Um, and like more whiny Tristan puppy. Uh, and then but like Isolde, like honestly, Isolde kind of brought down most of the score, and she was most of the story.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
2/3 of the score is gone because that was 2/3 of the story. Like if
She
you give me more secrets, more information about the organization that she
right.
belongs to.
Do
Give
more with
me
the
more organization.
organization.
Tell me more about some of the missions that she's done. Tell me like give me some interesting things because they gave like that little glimpse of one of her missions at the
At the
very
very
beginning of the
beginning,
book,
and then
and that was it.
nothing. And now she's just supposed to try and get information. And she doesn't even try to do that. It's not until the very end that she even figures it out. She's not, like, they send her off to do something. She doesn't
Yeah.
complete it. I don't think she completes it. No
Nope.
idea. Totally confused. What was the entire purpose of that? So it was just like, you. I know, like I said, I know what they were trying to do, but it was just not executed well enough or thought out well enough to be of any benefit to the story. And it just
Yeah.
weighed it down. So I listened to 13 hours of bullshit.
Bullshit.
Okay, if there are corrections, what would they be?
I think what could have served this book well would have been doing something similar to what they did sort of in the first book with Tristan, which is kind of going back and forth between his current life and
In
his
his
old
past
life
life. Yeah.
and giving more backstory on Isolde. Like
Mhm.
talk about why she learned martial arts. Talk about how she got into this
Right.
organization. Talk about her first mission and how it was a catastrophic failure, or the missions that stick out the most that cause her these nightmares that because we know
Mhm.
she has nightmares, and now we know it's
And
because she kills people,
yeah, but like
and that's it.
that, like I get PTSD because Tristan also has nightmares due to having to kill people, but his make more sense because he had an emotional attachment to the people that he killed. You
Hmm.
know? Like
And her all of her guilt stems from her Catholicism. That's it.
right.
And it like that is the correction that I would think is like if you wanted to bring this book from a 2.5 to a 4 immediately, just give me 20% more backstory on Isolde.
Yep. Yep.
Tell me something other than the fact that they're looking for the wise, and she belongs to the organization that's ran by her uncle. That I don't even remember the name of the organization at this point.
The scales.
The Scales. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember everything else except for that because it's so minor. It's
It's
so minimal, and like it
so
shouldn't be.
minimal. Okay, my correction would I feel like
Delete
they
Isolde.
well, yes. I feel like they buried the lead with Mark and his husband.
I would have loved to have heard more about that, and I hope we
Like,
get to in the third book.
because that, like, oh gosh, yes, because he's going to be out of his mind trying to find the two people. Like, okay, so I get it. At the very end, we get this whole thing about, like, okay, yes, he had a husband, but it was for a mission. And Elliot was more like
Elliot loved everyone.
everyone. And it for him it only was a mission, but Mark somehow grew to deepen this emotional connection, and at times it felt like Elliot was with him in it. And then when he died, which I still don't understand how Elliot died. Was it due to a mission?
I don't know. They
Yeah,
kind of
that's
didn't
the
really.
thing. Like why
They might
is
have. They might have mentioned it if anyone listening to this remembers, because I'm not going to go back through the book.
Yeah, just put it in
Like,
the comments,
yeah,
please.
throw a
Because,
comment down there and say, hey,
like, because it, like, part of me thinks that Mark is still using Elliot as cover. And that
maybe.
maybe the
I
mission failed because of something. And so he has all these bits of Elliot uh, with him to help remind him of what happens when he fails.
You know what I'm worried about?
Hmm.
And I have not read this, so if I'm right,
Hmm.
like this is literally just a guess. I have not looked at a single word out of Bitterburn.
Yeah.
Um, I think Elliot runs the wise.
You know what? That makes so much sense. It
I
does.
think that I think that that the wise were involved in killing Elliot, but they killed Elliot.
You mean the East? The
The
East?
East.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry.
It's the only reason I know it's the East is because they said it and I listened to the
Yeah,
audiobooks, but I'm pretty sure it was
they mention the pronunciation in the book. Also, they say "ease" like geese.
yeah.
Um,
And it's like
but I
French
it's
or
it's written
Latin.
as YS.
Yeah.
That's it. And
The
so
first time I heard it, I thought they were saying East,
yeah,
but then they were like ease, like a
but
French pronunciation or something like that. And I was like,
I would not be shocked
oh,
if we get a big reveal in the third book where Elliot comes
is
back and he's
so. I was thinking about this. I also think that Andrea is East.
oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and I think that the uncle, the cardinal, also East. And there was somebody else. I can't remember now. But I think the uncle, Andrea, for sure. She's obviously a plant. Um,
Oh, and Lady Triumph.
really? I don't think that's her
Yeah,
name. I think it's what was it? Hold on.
I think Lady Triumph, the one who owns 50% of the club.
Yeah. Is it Triumph? Which I didn't understand why it was such a bad thing that she was owning part of the club anyways. Like everybody like she was very upset that he had sold part of the club.
Well, yeah, that's because she needs all the money or all the information.
Oh, yeah, and if
So
if she kills him then
then the rest of the club goes to Triumph.
yep, instead of to his wife. Like that's my major plot hole is that I figured that
Yeah.
sh- sorry, my brain is just not firing on all cylinders. My major
Oh, you're
plot
good.
hole, because that's the next question. I don't know if I asked that. What's the major plot hole? My next plot hole was why did she care so much about she being Isolde cares so much
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Mark selling parts of the club? I didn't really understand that would being an issue. I don't remember that being an issue in the beginning of the book. Like it's not like Mark needs the money. Why would he sell
No.
part of the club? And then she has a big problem
And
with it.
I honestly took him selling part of the club as like his attempt to like solidify their relationship and show his commitment to her by saying like I'm going to pull back from some of this and make you the other half of my life. Like I thought it was sort of a
Mm-hmm.
figurative thing of that.
Yes.
Um and but I for plot hole, yeah, I don't know. Like
Anguish.
it's
Lady Anguish. That's her name.
Anguish, sorry, not Triumph, my
Yeah.
bad.
I knew
But
the T wasn't right.
I knew it was one of it, like those words feel the same to me. I don't it's they have the same vibe, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Um but so yeah, for plot holes, I mean
Isolde is a plot hole.
my if I had to pick a plot hole that stands out the most to me and it drives me crazy, it's the scales. I
Yeah.
understand keeping it somewhat shrouded in mystery, but like with the amount of it, like give you have to give something about it. Like we know more about the E's than we know about the scales. Like,
Mm-hmm.
give me something. Talk about, like, give me a 3-page portion of a chapter where she talks about like a brief rundown of like how her uncle got
How,
into the church,
yeah,
how her uncle rose to the position that he's in, how her uncle included her. Just don't even talk about the whole scales. Just talk about her uncle a little bit
yep.
and be like, why?
Give us
Give
a
me some
reason why
reason
it's
why the
important.
yeah. Tell me why this mission means so much to you, other than God.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I get it. God is important, but like,
Still, these
it's
orders
such
come
a
from
crutch.
somewhere. Like,
It's such a crutch, though. Like just being like, oh well, it's because of God. It's like,
does
stop.
God personally ask you to go and kill these people? Because from
Yeah,
everything that I remember from my unfortunate upbringing was that God is able to do that himself and has on many a historical occasion.
he's pretty good at it.
Right. So, yeah. Okay, I agree. That's a good one. Um Romance smut or erotica?
I mean, it's a little bit smut.
It's a lot of
Um,
smut.
eh, yeah, but in a different way than they did it in the first one. But
Because
it's still well written. It's I would say honestly,
yes.
it's more smut than anything else because of the fact that there's like almost no story in it.
I
Um,
I would I would have okay, so Salt Kiss, I don't remember. I think I said that one was a romance because you can
mhm,
feel the build between Tristan
the
and
characters,
Mark. Like
yeah,
you definitely know of Tristan's longing and there is something that gets built there. But in this one there is no, she comes into this already being in love with both of them. She has absolutely no self-control. She's the one that begs Tristan to do these things with her. He doesn't help, but like
mm-mm.
he is still trying to keep a separation from them. She's the one that's leading him and then trying to take the piety route after the fact. It doesn't there's no romance in this one. Even honestly, even her self-proclaimed love of Mark feels trite.
Yeah, it's yeah, I would say this is more smut than romance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you ask
Yeah.
my other coworker, he would say porn. Uh,
Of course he would.
but
We had that discussion. Oh,
everything it's porn.
everything is porn to him. Okay, so freebie question. You go first.
I don't really like.
You don't have to have one.
I know, and like that's the tough part is like even if I try to come up with one because I've been sitting here like, man, what would I do? What's my fruit? There's we covered so much because there's so little.
Yeah, that's the 430 pages, I think is what I said at the beginning. There's
I would say
nothing there. Okay.
going back to your going back to the corrections and stuff like that. I think that's where I would take my freebie question is I would say like if you could add one thing to this book, not a correction, but if you could add one thing that you think would just immeasurably make this better, what would it be? Because like I know what I would do.
That is a really good and hard question to answer. And
Yeah.
the reason for that is because Mark looks at this as a business arrangement. Knowing what
Hmm.
I know now, because I finished it, he also is aware of what she does. So I think he actually set the whole thing up to be playing with the parameters that her life had already been set into.
Hmm.
So he didn't agree to anything he wasn't already comfortably aware of, even though she tried to
Hmm.
hide that from him. Um,
Hmm.
she agreed to his parameters of the business relationship because
Yep.
she thought that was the only way that she would get anything I don't want to say, well, yeah, pleasurable out of it is if she had agreed to them and they kind of went on this way. I think if uh there had been, it's not so much an add in as a take out. I think if she was just a socialite,
Yeah.
this probably would have played out a lot better. If she was a socialite, yeah, trying to get the blackmail to have control over him, the upper hand, even that would even play well because that's what the whole club is. That makes sense why she would be trying to search for things and not doing too well. Um, so I think that would be what I would say is like make her just a socialite. You know,
Okay.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe keep her uncle as a cardinal or whatever. Okay, cool. He asks her, like, I just need dirt on him.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to be part of this clandestine nun thing. Doesn't need it.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. My freebie question to you. I am curious. I guess it's a question, kind of a question. I'm curious how basically a gay romance is your top tier of the smut uh chart now. Like how do you feel about that?
Doesn't faze me at all. Like,
Because
I guess
like
because it was, I guess because like it was one of the first ones I read, and also like it genuinely was well written.
it was
I
very
it,
good.
and like you know, I skipped over a bunch of stuff when I was reading it because it was like, okay, none of this, like I don't need to read all of it.
Hmm.
Um, but like even the parts that like I did read, it was like it's just it's the passion between two people. It's the passion between two well developed characters is what it is.
Hmm.
And that's where it does it, I think, is what it is. And like it doesn't like in some of the books like that I've read now, like even the male and female characters, I'm just kind of like, whatever, like it's cool,
Hmm.
whatever, you do you. But it could be two guys and I'd feel the same way just because they're badly written characters.
Right. Okay. That is that's a good answer. Okay, guys, that was Honeycutt by Sierra Simone. I'm gonna bring it back out and then I'm gonna put it away. Did I actually stamp this one? I did. Um, so Honeycutt by Sierra Simone. We gave it between the two of us an average of 2 stars.
2 stars.
I'm hoping. Okay, I'm hoping this is much better. It's a thicker book. Please be aware of
Sure.
that, everyone. Shim a thick one. And it's supposed to be Shim is a thick one. Yep. So this is if you don't need any second information, okay, whatever. Author's note is so fucking long. 511 pages in print. I don't know how many pages it is on Kindle. And I don't know
Like
how long it's going to be on audiobook. I'm guessing probably about 16 hours. So that's coming up in June. That's our June read.
so,
Nobody forget that. But we're
never
at the
forget.
end of our episode. And Nigel, do you have a pick for me for February?
I tried. I really tried. But like, first of all, you've read a billion books. And like, so I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to crowdsource this. And I went on to I went on to Reddit. I
Mm-hmm.
went on to the romance subreddit and
Oh,
I typed out this
really?
really well thought out. I typed out a really well thought out like question. I followed all of the rules. I made sure that I didn't break any of their rules or their guidelines and stuff like that. And I got auto moderated and they wouldn't post my thing
What was the reason for it?
because I don't have enough karma points in that subreddit.
I mean, I guess you should start like
Now I got to
liking.
start answering. Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta start liking, and that's fine. I do have one.
So great.
If you don't have one, if you were able to get one, that's cool.
I I wasn't. I tried. I wasn't, but I tried.
Okay.
I like I read through it and I saw a couple of things, but I don't remember what they are off the top of my head because I didn't write them down because I was like, okay, like these are some things I'll look into them, and then I typed out that thing and I was so mad that it got auto modded that I was like, I'm done with you, Reddit. I'm leaving.
I'm sorry. I the one I have for you this is for February, guys. It is part of a series. Okay, we're just gonna start with the first one. If we want to continue with the other one, you let me know and we'll go from there.
Mhm.
It's called The Doctor by E.L. Todd.
Okay.
It is, let's see. Come on. Why aren't you opening? Whoops. Have my phone because I don't know where I put my Kindle.
Ow.
It's got
Oh, my Limo.
8,033 reviews on it. It is on Kindle, 292 pages. A New
Okay.
York Times and USA Today best-selling author. It is classified as a military romance.
Okay.
So that's going to be our February read. Now we're going to go into the post show. So before we do that, I am going to give you a recommendation. See, I read a couple of things that I should tell you about.
Is this post show territory?
We're going into the post show in just a second.
Okay. Cool,
And
cool,
then
cool, cool.
we'll get into all of the book hot goss that you want. You have book hot goss? Tell me if you have book hot goss.
Kind of. I started reading one of the books you recommended.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and like I'm still very early in it, so I don't have too much hot goss yet. But it's yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to recommend you a series.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the first book, and it is called Pretty Little Death. Is recorded by the Bestie and the Critic, edited by the Critic, graphics done by the Bestie. All opinions are original and in no way are paid by the author.